What is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. As you guys can tell by my lack of makeup and today's video title, today we are going to be trying out some viral TikTok makeup hacks. These are some of the latest beauty hacks that I've been seeing on TikTok for the last couple of months, and honestly I've not really seen a lot of them ever before. So fingers crossed a lot of them will be ones that maybe you haven't seen before. If you guys are new here and you guys haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Roxy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys want to stick around, be sure to subscribe down below. But I guess without further ado, let's see what these viral beauty hacks are all about. Okay, so the very first hack we're going to be trying out is actually a brow hack, and I've really been struggling to get my brows to look right lately, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this will help.
Stop dragging your eyebrow pencil like this. Instead, you're going to brush your brow hairs down to expose the areas that need filling. You want to take a fine brow pencil and start lining the areas that need to be filled. You want to make sure you spoolie and brush everything out to blend any harsh lines. And then you're going to push your brow hairs up and start lining in the gaps from the bottom. Now when it comes to the front of your eyebrows, you want to take an angled brush and some brow powders and start lightly filling in the front because we want a light to darker gradient effect. This is going to set that brow pencil and it's going to last a lot longer.
I don't know about you guys, but the idea of brushing down your hairs first is actually so clever. I feel like usually people struggle with this part of their brow being the most sparse. I know I do. So by brushing the hairs down first, you really reveal that sparse area, and I feel like it's going to make it really easy to fill. Okay, I'm just going to literally be drawing a line of where I want my arch to be, and then I'm just going to create those like little lines that kind of go down to imitate the strokes of my hair. My brows on this side are much sparser. I've actually recently overplucked them by accident, so I feel like you're really gonna see the technique on this side more. Oh, this actually makes it so much easier. I'm also going to carry on that line into here. Okay, so that's my arches done. I'm now just gonna brush them through and brush the hairs back up. She then takes the pencil again and tries to fill in the underneath. I'm now going to brush that line out as best as I can just to make sure everything's nice and diffused. She then says to use a lighter brow powder to fill in this like inner part of the eye. So I'm just going to take my brow powder product from Flower Nose. How freaking stunning is this packaging? I'm going to be taking a mixture of this shade and this shade, but trying to make it as light as I possibly can. And I'm just going to be tapping that right here at the bottom and then kind of fanning it. I have to say, doing this technique has really made my brows look almost like HD. I really love that soft, feathered out kind of look, especially at the start of the brows, so this is amazing. Okay, so those are the finished brows. I have to say, that technique of brushing the hairs down has really worked for me. It's made my arch look so much sharper. I think the brows are looking on point. I'm so happy with that hack. Now, I have already got my foundation on, but I skipped concealer because we're actually going to be trying out a concealer hack for under the eyes. Make sure you're holding onto your seats though, because this is a wild one.
Bronzer versus concealer. I never liked light concealer on me because I feel like it makes my eyes look smaller.
She's on to something, but we're gonna have to talk about color theory. Most shades of bronzer, they tend to have a lot of peach, a lot of orange in them. That is what helps cancel darkness. We're gonna go ahead and do it the way that she did it. For me, the bronzer alone is a little too flat and it doesn't have enough dimension for me, but let me show you what she's talking about. When your concealer is too light like this, it does nothing but enhance what we're trying to hide. Without any balance underneath, all it is going to do is highlight, and it's highlighting all of the fine lines and texture. For reference, this is my perfect shade of concealer. Now, I love the idea of the bronzer being a color corrector. You wind up using less concealer doing this, actually. And you'll have a built-in bronzer transition. I set both sides and look at this difference. Secrets are concealed here.
As I said, that is a very strange thing to do. I've never put bronzer underneath my eye, but I do feel like this girl was onto something here. Okay, let's just go straight in. I'm going to be using my Milk stick. This is a bronzing stick, and I'm just going to be applying that on this side. She went quite heavy with it, so I'm going to do the same. This just feels so strange and like counterintuitive. Oh my gosh, that just looks crazy, but let's blend that puppy out. I have to say, I actually really love this cream bronzer stick. It's very easy to blend out and it's just really nice and smooth. On this side, I'm gonna go straight in with the brightest concealer I have, which is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Royal Icing, and I'm just gonna go there and there. Basically how I would normally apply my concealer. Now let's go ahead and blend that out real quick as I normally would. Okay, so right now as it stands, this side definitely looks better, but we're still not done with the concealer on this side. I'm now taking a concealer that actually matches my skin tone perfectly, which is this one from a brand called Decipher. I actually have done a video on this brand. Like, they basically do a custom shade like match to your skin. And this isn't necessarily a brightening kind of concealer or anything, but I feel like this matches the rest of my face perfectly, which is what the girl in the video did. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend all of this in. Okay, so here we have it. This is the comparison of the bronzer and a concealer that matches my skin tone perfectly versus a really brightening kind of concealer. Let me know which side you think looks better. Is it this side or is it this side? I feel like although this is brightening, it definitely does highlight my lines, and like it just kind of gives like a whitewash over my darkness. Does that make sense? I just feel like this side looks like it's brighter, but also it is kind of like bluish and purpley. Whereas this side, I don't see any blue or any purple at all. It has completely been like cancelled out. I have to say, out of the two sides, I do actually prefer this side. I think it definitely looks way more natural. However, if I was to do this again, I probably would go in with a slightly lighter concealer, like nowhere near as bright as this, but just a little bit lighter than my skin tone. And I feel like this would definitely give me the brightening effect, but also cancel out any sort of darkness under my eye with that bronzer underneath. So would I say the hack works? I would say it does. I'm actually really glad that I tried it. So now, because my two sides look crazy, I am just gonna go in with a lighter concealer on this side just to kind of bring it a little bit closer to the other side, or else I'll be looking cray for the rest of the video. Now, before I actually set my eyes down, there's one more tip that I wanted to incorporate in this video and try it out. It is from this girl right here.
The best way to tell if your under eyes are going to crease throughout the day is when you look up, product starts to seep into those little fine lines under your eyes. The absolute worst thing you can do in that situation is go in with powder, because then you're just setting those creases. So what you're going to do is take the back of a brush or a Q-tip, roll it right where those fine lines are, and this is going to pick up excess product. And now you can go in with your loose powder and just pat back and forth until it is set. Look at the difference the powder just made. Make sure you're not swiping the powder on, you're just patting back and forth, and you should be left with this airbrushed, flawless under eye.
Okay, so I've definitely applied like way too much product on this side by now, so let's just see what happens. I'm gonna like look down, look up, make sure those creases are really festering in there. When I do this, you can really start to see all of the creases that have just gathered under here. So let's just try it out. Just rolling that product away and out of the creases. Okay, that actually has worked. There was definitely a little pocket of product just sitting right in that line. Now, before I do anything else, I'm just gonna quickly set that down and make sure we don't get any creases throughout the day. Okay, so my under eye is looking pretty good, I have to say. So I feel like that hack was definitely quite a good one. Now, moving on to contouring. We have tried so many contouring hacks over the years on this channel, and today is no different. We are trying the latest, most viral way of contouring your cheekbones, and it is this.
Oh no, you're still doing that under the cheekbone contour? That looks like a marionette puppet, okay? No, stop blending, don't bother. Instead, make a peace sign, okay? Take one finger under your eye, the other put it in the indent of your cheekbone. You can feel it right next to your ear. Take a thin contour, okay? Now go along the finger, back up to the top finger, a little V. Let go, blend up with a small brush, and lift. And that is what? No. Yes. Let's go.
Okay, I feel like on her face shape, that definitely looked 10 times better than the other side where she just did a regular line. So I feel like we're really gonna have to give this a go. I think on this side, I'm just going to contour as I normally would. So I'm just gonna apply one line like that. With my contour, I never really go too close to like my mouth area. I like to sort of stop there. Now with this side, we're gonna do that. So I'm touching my ear and then I'm touching my eyebrow and we're just gonna go duh, duh. Is that what she did? Like that. That was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. Okay, so that's basically what she did. We're now just gonna blend this in. I swear mine didn't look as much of a V as hers did, but there we go. That is this side. I do feel like that looks very natural actually. And now let's blend out the other side. Okay, here we are. This is how I normally contour, and this is the other side. Do we see a difference? What are we thinking? I mean, this side definitely looks way more bronzed, whereas this side looks a lot more natural. Like, it doesn't look like I've contoured at all. I have to say, I kind of like this side. I think I'm gonna do this more often. This slaps. This contouring is 100% Roxxsaurus approved. Okay, so moving on to the next hack, we're now gonna be trying out a blusher hack, and it is from this user right here.
Stop doing your blush like this. It is actually dragging your face down. Instead, try this hack. Start off with a darker shade. You don't need a lot of it. Now, instead of applying it right on your cheek, apply it just on top of your cheekbone, like so. Next, grab a warmer shade. Now start above the outer line that you made and pull it up towards your eyebrow. Now blend from the bottom up. I would add a neutral tone just underneath the eye like that. See what a lifted look we're getting here compared to this side. Rate this hack from 1 to 10.
Okay, so essentially this one is not really anything like super new. It's basically contouring with a blusher. But the placement is quite interesting and I've never really tried applying my blush like this, so let's give it a go. So first up, I'm gonna apply the more cool toned shade of blusher, which is the darker blusher, and I'm using this one here. This is from Revolution. It's the super dewy one, and this is in the shade Flushing for You. So we're just gonna take that and we're gonna apply it to the top of our cheekbone like so. I'm then gonna use a much lighter shade right here and just kind of draw it on like so. We're then just gonna buff it in and blend it away upwards like she did. Then lastly, I'm using just a dot of a neutral kind of blush shade and I'm just popping that right there. And again, we're just gonna blend that in to that blush. So as you can see, it has given us that very subtle sort of lifted blush effect. On the other side, I'm just gonna apply my blush how I normally would, which is basically just around here somewhere. I'm just gonna quickly blend it out. Okay, and that is the difference. What are we thinking? I have to say, I do think that this side looks slightly better, and I think all it's down to is literally just how precise the placing was. It was more in a line rather than a blotch, which is what I normally do on this side. I'm just gonna be real. And yeah, I feel like this side definitely looks way more messy and just not really precise, whereas this side actually does give that slightly lifted effect. All right, so now let's move on to the nose contour. I have actually two different hacks to try out on my nose today. The first one being this.
I'm gonna show you some little makeup tricks that are gonna change the game for you. First things first is how you apply your blush. I want that like sunburnt look, right? So you put a little here. You wanna make sure you get it high enough, but this is the part that no one does. Instead of just putting it all over your nose, I've already done it, but I'll do it again. You put it on like a little contour on your nose. That way it still keeps the shape, but it gives you that sunburnt look.
Okay, I do occasionally put a little bit of blusher on my nose, just kind of like across here, but never have I ever thought to actually be deliberate with how I place it. This potentially could be a game changer. I'm taking that same liquid blush that we were using earlier on the cheek, and I'm just gonna apply it on a tiny little brush like this. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to apply a little bit here and a little bit here. We're leaving the middle part just completely empty. And I'm just gonna use the warmth of my finger to like blend this out and away. I really hope that this is gonna suit me. I feel like this potentially could make nose contouring look even more natural as well. Okay, and that's the effect that it gives. I have to say, I actually really like it. It's very subtle, and it definitely like gives you that little sunburnt look on your nose without looking too overpowering. I actually really like that. Let me know what you guys think. And now the second nose contouring hack we're gonna be trying out is this here.
How to get a perfect button nose. For this hack, you press your nose like this, and here where your nose folds is the perfect spot for you to create
Okay, I personally am a sucker for the button nose. I love to do it on myself as well. So I feel like this could be a really interesting one. So first things first, I'm taking the same milk stick and I'm just gonna take a little brush again. So I guess now we have to do the piggy nose. I'm just gonna do that. And essentially where that first crease of my nose is, that's where you want to put the line. I would say like here? Probably, right? And then she said one more just where the finger is. It's gonna touch it up, but yeah, that actually looks like a pretty good placement for my nose. I'm now just gonna blend it away with my finger, and that is the nose contour complete. I actually feel like my nose looks really, really cute now. If you're a beginner to nose contouring or you don't really know what you're doing, I feel like doing that hack definitely helps out, and I feel like for beginners, this would be perfect. All right, now moving on to the eyes, we're now gonna be trying out a really interesting eyeliner hack, and I am so scared that this is just gonna go very, very wrong. We're gonna be trying to recreate this.
I'm drawing mine here. And we're going to put it into the corner of the eye and we're just going to pull it out.
How? I just feel like that is not humanly possible, especially for me. I'm just not the best at doing like cream or kohl eyeliner. So literally all she does is she draws a line on her finger like that. I have no idea if this is gonna work. This could ruin the whole look. She places it right at the bottom of the edge of her eye, and then she does that. What just happened? That is awful. Let's see if we can save this. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe if I fix it up, kinda works. Perhaps I'm using the wrong type of liner. I don't know. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I mean, that's slightly better. Still pretty freaking awful though. I feel like, yeah, it definitely needs a little touch up, that's for sure. I don't know what kind of magical product those girls were using to achieve that kind of liner and how like smooth it was, but it's just not working out for me. I really thought that this would work with this liner because this eyeliner is pretty creamy and pretty good. Let's try it one more time on the other side. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that went in the completely wrong direction, but it worked a lot better for some reason, and I don't know why, because I am not left-handed. Let's try it one more time. No, it's just not working. It just keeps, the liners are like completely different angles. Okay, I'm gonna have to say, that one is not for me. It does not work. I would have loved it to work, but I feel like perhaps I don't have the correct amount of dexterity. Okay, so the eyeliner is finished. I did have to freehand it, sadly, but it's okay. I feel like now it definitely looks much better. We're now gonna be trying out another like eyeliner enhancing kind of hack, and it is from this guy right here.
Here's an easy trick to make your eye makeup look like it's a bit more polished and professionally done. I love recommending this to my clients and friends because you don't have to go out and buy anything. Chances are you already have what you need, and it only takes a couple seconds. You're gonna grab yourself a flat-ended brow brush along with an eyeshadow that's quite a few shades lighter than your natural skin tone, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna stamp it right below your winged eyeliner. Watch this. Pressing it on and slowly diffusing it out. So you'll notice I'm taking that lower lash line and following it straight outwards. I really like doing this because it lifts the cheekbone and highlights it, but also cleans up the eye makeup. Now what I do is, I mean, you can use a blending brush, but I just take my finger to soften out those edges. And that's all there is to it. Try it out, and I hope you like it.
Okay, so we're gonna be taking this palette right here from Revolution, and I'm gonna be taking this lightest shade in the corner here. It's a lot lighter than my skin tone, so I feel like this will work perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp it right underneath that liner that we've just created. I feel like this hack used to be done with like concealer, but for some reason we're now switching to doing it with an eyeshadow. That's quite interesting. Okay, there we go. I mean, it's a very subtle difference, but I do feel like it has made my eyeliner look way sharper. Just gonna repeat the same to the other side. Okay, yes, that has definitely made a huge improvement. I really, really like this hack. I can't believe I stopped doing this technique with my concealer after I've done my eyeliner, but I'm definitely gonna get back into it. All right, so that's the eyes finished. I've just applied some mascara, and it's now time time to move on to the lips. For the lips, I have a really interesting hack that I've personally never done before.
You want fuller lips, but you're still doing this like we did in 2016. Let me help you out, sis. It's time for a new technique. You see how this looks much fuller, but more natural at the same time? Taking a brown lip liner, I'm placing a little line in like the hollow area of my lips. I know it looks really funny, but this is where you use your fingers. Blend it out using the warmth of your fingers, and what you're doing is essentially contouring your lips so your lips look bigger without actually looking unnatural. I'm topping it off with a little bit of lip oil, but look how good this looks.
Okay, so as you guys know, I have not been blessed with the biggest lips, and I've gone down the route of having lip fillers in the past. I haven't done that for years now. I absolutely hated how they looked on me. However, I do overline my lips notoriously, and I do actually like the way it looks on me. But if I can make it look even more natural, then that's great. So I'm gonna be trying that technique out, but I am worried that it's gonna make it look like I have a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm taking my eyeliner pencil. This is the one from Maybelline, because you want this to be quite cool toned. You want it to almost look like a shadow. So I'm just gonna literally create these tiny little lines on the sides of my lips and also underneath my lip. This looks so freaking funny. It literally looks like I've got like a little mustache. I'm now gonna take my finger and just start blending this away into my skin. Okay, so that's the bottom lip done. I'm now gonna do the top part. Okay, it's kind of giving. I mean, yeah, it definitely looks like my lips are protruding more away from my face. And I do have that thing where I have like a double lip line. So like my actual lip is here, but then the actual pink part of my lip is much thinner, which is what also makes my lips look much smaller. I guess now we can try and apply a little bit of like a lip oil to finish it off. Okay, so that is the lip done. What are we thinking? Do we think it looks natural, or can you see the little like mustache still? I feel like I managed to blend it out pretty well, but at the same time, I feel like maybe I over blended it and it's not really there anymore. Let me know what you guys think. Does this look natural or not? But that is the finished look and all the hacks that I'm gonna be trying out today. Let me know which one of these was your favorite. I feel like my makeup does look pretty good actually, especially like my base. I feel like my base on this side looks so flawless. The brows and the nose contour hacks were probably one of my faves, and I'm definitely gonna be carrying on using those. If you guys did enjoy this video and found it helpful, definitely smash that huge thumbs up down below and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But that is all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching and being here, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Mwah.